Ryan possesses a profound aversion to physical exertion. Where others see a field that needs tending, Ryan sees movements he'd rather not make. His baseline strategy is built on engineering. He constructs a network of ropes across the acreage. By tugging a single line, he triggers a chain reaction of movement. Once built, his energy output drops to zero. The limits of this passive ingenuity are tested when his father falls ill during a drought. The farm no longer needs a bird scarer. It needs a laborer to haul water and manage the irrigation trenches. Ryan tries to keep up, but he has no physical conditioning for the relentless pace. Because he never built a mechanical solution for the drought, he is forced to rely on his muscles, and they fail him. The crops wither, and the family's livelihood vanishes. On the farm, Ryan used his cleverness to avoid work, but when the environment required active, sustained effort, his lack of preparation left his family devastated. With the farm in ruins, Ryan sees a final chance for survival. The king is hosting a competition with a chest of gold for the winner. The competition attracts the most disciplined athletes in the kingdom, men who define themselves by their ability to endure physical punishment. Haunted by the failure of the farm, Ryan joins the registry. The villagers watch him stand among the giants. They see a boy who couldn't save a single field, trying to outmuscle the strongest men in the land. The first qualifier is a race across a massive lake. As the signal fires, the athletes dive in. They fight the water directly, using raw power to overcome the drag of the lake. This is a high-energy, high-exhaustion approach to the problem. Ryan stays on the bank. He recognizes that the goal is simply to reach the other side. The method of transport is up to him. He spends the first few minutes gathering fallen timber and lashing it together into a crude raft. He isn't swimming, he's building. This graph highlights the trade-off. While the swimmer's energy reserves plummet as they fight for buoyancy and speed, Ryan's raft provides the buoyancy for him. He trades a few minutes of construction time for a massive reduction in physical cost. Midway across the lake, the swimmers begin to tire. Ryan, seated on his raft, uses a single piece of wood to quietly paddle steadily past the exhausted, thrashing athletes. By refusing to fight the water on its own terms, he finds a mechanical path that is slower to start, but impossible to exhaust. The final round is a brutal 1-kilometer haul. Each contestant must move a massive, heavy wooden block to the finish line using only one tool from a provided kit. The other finalists choose tools of force. One grabs a thick rope to drag the weight, another picks a long iron lever to pry the block forward. They prepare for an hour of pure, agonizing labor. Ryan ignores the tools designed for moving weight. He picks up a small carving knife. The clock starts, and while the others begin their slow, sweating crawl toward the finish line, Ryan casually sits down. He spends the next hour meticulously shaving wood away from the corners of his block. The flat surface creates immense sliding friction, requiring massive constant force. Ryan uses his knife to round the contact surfaces, creating a rolling profile. Converting sliding into rolling friction reduces the required force by over 90%. With his block now mobile, Ryan stands up and gives it a single firm push. It rolls smoothly down the path, overtaking the athletes who are still struggling to drag their jagged blocks through the dirt. He didn't just move the weight more efficiently, he altered the core physical properties of the obstacle. He used a sharp edge to make the task itself easier. Ryan won by making laziness productive. He successfully used his desire to avoid effort as a filter to find the most efficient possible solution. This creates a clear contrast with his failure on the farm. In both cases, his family's survival was at stake. So why did he succeed here when he failed there? On the farm, Ryan's laziness was passive. He used his ropes to avoid the daily reality of the field, and when a new problem arose, he simply stopped. In the competition, his failure had already happened. The weight of that loss changed his approach from avoiding work to solving it. He stopped looking for ways to stay in the shade and started looking for ways to reach the finish line. Laziness isn't a lack of intelligence. It's often just an unguided preference for efficiency. When that preference is applied to a specific high-stakes goal, it stops being a weakness and becomes a powerful engine for innovation.